Okay, I'm calling GEEGA. Hello.
Hello.
For anybody that's just tuning in, if you do not know Auntie GEEGA, would you tell them something about yourself?
Hello. I'm GEEGA, and I lost my accent from talking to people on the internet too much.
Oh, you had like a crazy, like New York.
It was pretty strong.
I do feel
It
like
was
I
pretty
hear it when you're talking to other New Yorkers. You become more New York.
I just leave the G's off of stuff. Something. I don't know.
Let's jump into the game. You've been in this industry for a while. You've seen a lot of stuff, or you've been into gaming for a while. So I want to talk about like stuff from 13 years ago, being excited about games back then, blah, blah, blah. People were asking me if I'm excited about any game or anything like that. And I was like, look, honestly, I don't really keep up with a lot of games at the moment. It's hard for me to get excited because things get announced and then I don't see them for 5 years.
I'm getting really tired of the hype cycle being so long. I get so like gamed out by the time the game is actually releasing. Whereas if they do it like just a stealth drop and they just go, oh, here it is, like with the Oblivion remaster, like realistically you only have just so much time.
Yeah.
So now you just get like choice paralysis. I want to play a lot of them, but I do not have that time. And especially as a streamer, like it's unfortunate, but some chats like more, instead of you completing every game, they prefer you just starting new ones and taking a quick look and then moving to the next.
Yep. And I know they'll say that they don't, but hey, why is it that every time people play a new game, high viewership, 3 days into new game, a quarter of that viewership?
I'm sure there's like the core audience, like, remember them that would still like that, but you know, overall, there's a big difference.
We've talked about this before, that some people who get into VTubing, they feel like they have to do song covers, they have to do projects. You can just go live, never have an outfit. It does not matter. You do not need outfits. You do not need songs.
Those kinds of projects are for, it's more because you just want to. So that's why I do like the outfits that I do, like the choices on what I'm doing or whatever. It's just like, cause I felt like it.
And I love that you've been tying it in with some of your favorite games as well. That is just number one marketing.
Yeah.
My mods keep asking me for more work.
Oh.
I feel like they keep asking for more work and I keep giving it to them, but then I'm scared that one day they're just gonna burn out.
Yeah, let's be real for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, you think you want more work because you perceive that there's more that you could do. When you have that work, you're gonna feel really good about doing it at first because you're gonna be like, wow, I can do this work. And then it becomes regular work and then you're gonna hate it and you're gonna burn out. So you should always be in a position where you feel like you don't have enough work. That's perfect.
I agree.
For a moderator.
So right now my team is growing a bit because we have 2 YouTube channels. Every time everyone's like, I'm not working enough. I'm like, good. I want everybody to be a little bit like, hey, Matara, I can't wait to work because this is my trick. Then you like working for me. Then you're like, man, working for Matara is the best. And this is how I keep people on my team forever. First of all, yes, I pay them good money.
Because you want them to feel good at the end of the day. You don't want them to be like, wow, love this job, but man, does it stress me out. Is it worth it? Question mark.
But I feel like I need to be doing my best job, and my best job is to be streaming. Other things, I need everybody else to be doing those.
That's the whole point. I mean, I don't know a single streamer who's ultra successful that does it all on their own. And if they do, then they do like one thing. Like they don't have like multiple channels, like a large brand. They just do like one thing really well.
Do you see yourself streaming forever?
I feel like streaming in general, probably, because I just like talking in real time.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard being 80 and being like, hey guys, I love playing Blueprints. Here's what I love about Blueprints, right? I really genuinely feel like I just got addicted to this feeling of streaming where it just feels like going for a coffee with the girls.
What it is for me with streaming is that it's a mixed bag. You get a lot of random people that have not been here before every day coming in. You get a lot of the regulars as well. What happens is you get a lot of unique thoughts being said, unique sentences. I'm a little bit more negative than you, than when you said people come in with their independent thoughts. Every other day, somebody has an independent thought of,
hey Matara, this is gonna sound crazy, but has anybody else ever told you that you look like Faramosa? Like you're the only person
for every unique
ever told me
that is in chat. There are 5,000 completely not unique ones, because I tell chat all the time at the same time. I say, hey, nothing you've ever done or said is special, by the way.
I love when GEEGA tells me I'm not special. What are some stuff that you feel as you've gotten older, you've gotten better at caring less about, I guess is the big one?
Everything. I feel like before, if I like didn't do well with something and I felt guilty, I would get like completely stun locked, especially if there wasn't anything I could do to like fix a situation at that moment in time.
Fix your mentality.
Now I'm just like, that sucks. I can't do anything right now. I'll just move on with my day until I can do something.
I have actually learned a lot of that from you. I feel like you, despite also being like me, where you're like, I can help, I can fix, I can do. I see you being like, hey, I can't do anything, so...
Well, and you do.
Yeah, literally, she'll be like, it is what it is, what can you do? And walk away. And I'm there like, huh?
If you can't do anything to alleviate an issue right now, even if it's like your own fuck-ups, you feel guilty and you're like, desperate to do something, then there's nothing to do. You should make yourself feel better. That's the best use of your time, because then when you can actually do something, you will feel refreshed. You'll be in a good headspace. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's actually the better thing to do.
Agreed. A big one for me is like, I can just let people have their problems, and there are times where I can't fix them. I can listen, I can be there, but...
Yeah, not everyone's problems are anything to do with you.
No.
You know, when a friend is like, I need help with this thing, I need to know what to do here, I need advice, I would always stop and give advice or help.
Yeah.
And over time, I've been like, I'm wasting my breath on a lot of these people. Even if they're earnestly listening in that moment, they're not going to change anything.
Yeah.
You can tell the same person the same thing 5 times in a row. If they haven't done it after the first 2 times you give advice, it's not going to happen. You know, like, you shouldn't waste your own time on it. Doesn't mean you don't love them, but, you know.
That's another thing too that I've gotten better with is like, let's say, example, my friend wants to complain about her partner or husband. I'm there. You can talk to me. You can vent. I'll listen, etc. But also, I am allowed as a friend to sometimes be like, hey, actually, I am not in the mind space to listen to this today. And just getting better at realizing it doesn't make me a bad friend to prioritize me and be like, hey, actually, I cannot talk to you about this today. If you would like, we can go out Friday night. We can have a beer. We can talk about it. Or sometimes even just be like, I don't think I'm the right person for this conversation. I'm sorry. And just be okay with that decision of like, it's okay.
Fully agreed.
I see you being so good at being like, hey, I'm just going to order fried chicken and cuddle my cat. And tomorrow's another day. It is what it is.
Yeah, because it's like a waste of time. If I'm sad about something, if I sit there and lament and I like show a lot of like outward expressions, if I start venting to somebody or something like that, it makes me feel worse and it prolongs me feeling worse. That's how I feel. Not everyone's like that. Some people venting is like, it's called venting because getting it out helps them. It doesn't help me. I hate the phrase bottling it up because that concept is foreign to me. For me, it's like the more I don't sit there and try to like
stew on it,
something, the more it just doesn't bother me. I'm able to move past it. I'm able to like internalize, think about it. Like I just need to sit there with myself and think about a thing and then I'm done with it, you know?
I like venting. I like talking. It's fun. But I also started realizing that like sometimes things are really not that big of a deal. And me venting about them only kind of keeps me feeling unhappy.
I tell people all the time when something is fresh and they're like venting about it, I'm like, you know what you should do? You should vent about it the next day.
Yeah.
You should go
take a nap.
Sucks. You should go watch a show. Yeah. Take a nap. Do something. Do an immediate like coping mechanism to just feel better and then vent about it because then you've thought about it.
I'm the kind of person where like if I'm in a good mood, I'm electric. But same thing, if I'm in a bad mood, I can get very bad. Yeah, I've had a bad day and somebody will be like, do you want to vent? Do you want to talk about it? No, because I'll be fine in 10 minutes. But if I sit here and explain to you why my day is bad, now I'm going to suddenly notice how other things piss me off. It almost like dials my brain to start looking for that more. And then I'll be pissed at everything. Then I'll be like, what the hell is this person looking at on the street? This is dumb. So my thing that like has helped me a lot is just think about it, process it, deal with it personally. But then I will usually vent about it one time. And I'm going to use this example with Hollywood where I sat, my 3 coworkers down. I was like, hey guys, I'm very unhappy. I think like if things don't change, I will have to leave. And then a few months later, I sat them down. I'm like, hey guys, things haven't changed. I'm leaving. They're like, wait, what do you mean? I didn't think you were serious. I'm like, what part of me saying, hey, this is all the reason why I'm unhappy. This is all the reason why there's no changes. I have, asked for these changes or I've talked about them and there's none. I always give a last chance and like a Hail Mary, I guess. I don't know what to say it, but that's why I'm always shocked with like even ex-husbands who have been like, I had no idea. I'm like, really? You had no idea I was going to cannibalize your body when I told you a million times?
If I'm like not happy with something, I don't yell. I don't like get super outwardly seeming upset, or anything like that. I just say, hey, I don't like this and here is why. And I lay it out very matter of fact. But because of that, sometimes people don't treat it with a sense of urgency or realness.
But you're serious.
I'm not yelling. Yeah, I'm not like, I'm not crying. I'm not like showing some sort of crazy amount of negative emotion where they're like, now I have to do something, you know?
Yeah. I always use this phrase of like, I want new problems, especially if it's like big life problems, not like a little, ooh, hee hee. And again, to use the Hollywood example, there was a time when Mint and I, we were watching an anime called Yorimoy, Place Further than the Universe, girls going to Antarctica. And every single week when we would meet up to watch this anime, I would cry my eyes out because I was so unhappy. And she was great. She listened. We kind of complained, And at one point, something felt odd. And I like could see myself at the edge of my room looking at myself a year from now, crying about the same things. I respect myself too much to be here in exactly a year, complaining to Mint about the exact same stuff, crying as hard as I am, just watching like Yorimoy season 3, you know? No. And it worked. It punched me in the teeth.
Kind of going back to like things you get better at as you get older. For me, one of them is being able to decide when I have had enough and not like getting stuck to something for too long.
Because you want to give chances, right? But then there comes with most things, you're like, okay, I've tried enough. When I was younger and something bad happened, I could stay mad for a long time. Obviously, I could still keep a grudge, don't get me wrong. But not in the same way. Like eventually a grudge just feels like, what am I upset about? Like, it's fine. Like, I just kind of start understanding people's motives a lot more. So even if my friend does something really, really bad, I'll be like, I understand where it's coming from. I understand her character or his character, right? And I don't know, a part of me is a little sad because I kind of enjoyed being a little bit of a petty hater.
It's a good energy to have for certain situations, but not others.
But that's another thing too. You can forgive people. You can like make amends, but be like, we don't gotta be friends though, right? Like if you, let's say, meet your high school bully 20 years later, right? And you make up and you're good and you don't hate them. You don't gotta go grab beers with them after. Like you're good. You got your friends, you got your life, you got your family. You don't need to then like make it go into a deep friendship, right?
Yeah, laying next to them late at night, just talking about life.
Yeah. Kissing their ear. Do you come from a long line of yappers, or did you kind of develop the yap because of your work and stuff like that and environments?
I was always capable of talking, but chat, believe it or not, I'm actually a quiet person, I would say.
I believe it.
Where I don't actually talk that much. Like when I'm in person and I'm sitting around and everyone's having a great time, I don't say anything. And then if someone asks a question and I have something to say, I might give a long-winded whatever, and then I just go back to being quiet. And the only reason that people hear me talk a lot is because there's no one to talk back to me when I'm just looking at chat. There's no one.
So you just keep yapping. I definitely have always been a yapper, and some of it I think is obviously like the way I was brought up. I'm definitely like an extroverted person, and when I was younger, if guests would come over, they would make me stand on a chair and recite poetry or sing songs.
Oh
like
my God.
I was the clown. That's why like when people ask me what's embarrassing, I'm like, nothing. You cannot embarrass me. I'm good. You know how in school the teacher would say if anybody wants to volunteer first for a presentation, they get extra points? Me. Every time. I was like, I'll go first. Yeah. I'll do way less work and I'll just go first, and then I never have to worry about it.
I was one of those too because I liked to get it out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you have a presentation and then the next 3 classes, it's people presenting their stuff, I would maybe allegedly, apparently, stay home and play video games. Another thing about your yapping, some would say that you hit the jugular a little bit more, right? Like you'll say things exactly how they are. You don't tend to sugarcoat things. Have you always done this when you became a VTuber? Or did you initially have a little bit of a softer approach?
I think I've always done this because this is just how I speak in general. Like, it's not a content thing. I do think this community overall is very soft. And I mean that. It's wholeheartedly.
She's saying you're all soy boys, right?
People are very soft, which I think isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No,
I think
I agree.
That means the space is very comfortable for a lot of people who have a hard time with that stuff. So I don't even think that's a bad thing. It just means that people like me, when existing in the space, will sometimes be received in a way where people get like a little like scared.
Yeah.
Or if I say something and someone is like, wow, that was really harsh, I go back and I'm like, let me rephrase this.
Yeah.
To understand why I'm saying it this way.
Yeah. I have started being a lot more aware. I've also been, kind of taken out of context or people get offended. And when I was younger, I was like, I don't get it. Why are you offended? Like, I said what I said. It wasn't offensive. Like, why are you mad? Why are you this? But as I grew up, I kind of realized, no, there's definitely like a tone to my voice or something, or sometimes the way that I can say things. Maybe I can prep people.
Yeah.
Maybe I can be like, hey, what I'm about to say is going to sound weird at first, but let me get to the end.
Like, even if I think I'm right logically, like, if I say something and a lot of people feel the way they feel about it, it doesn't matter if I'm right. People felt that way, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to backtrack or anything, or you have to rescind your statement, but it's just like, you know, I've definitely dealt with that. It depends on the community, my own community, and then a lot of people on Twitch do just fine.
Yeah, of course.
With the way I present some ideas. I think it's like people on YouTube and Twitter that have a harder time with it, typically.
Early YouTube and early content, it feels like everyone's always trying to go viral, and like the more viral you go, the better. I'm at a place where I think being at a comfortable space is the best. Anytime your things go viral and they go out of your main audience,
yeah,
that's when the misunderstandings. Yeah, it
gets rough because those people don't know you at all.
No.
They don't know how you speak.
No,
so they're just
no.
reading your tone as if they're seeing you for the first time, because they probably are.
They probably are. But this is where I've also learned that, holy cow, maybe I'm not supposed to be disconnected to so many people. The biggest thing that I've done for myself, and you're also so good at it, like, let's say a tweet goes out of its original audience, you mute it.
Yeah, because I personally feel like there's no real value in letting these things even be on your radar when you don't know these people. They don't know you. I find it pretty easy to disconnect when it's not like the generalized community that is kind of around mine, you know?
Obviously, I am open to comments, concerns, criticisms. There's also sometimes the idea of just because somebody wants to criticize what I do, like, okay.
Everyone can have an opinion.
Yeah, you can have your opinion. Doesn't mean you need to text it to me or send it to my inbox. If you want to hit me with it, you could, but yeah.
I think with other people's opinions, like I don't care, and it doesn't mean that I don't put any stock
if that
into
goes
it.
out of context, see, like that's a
I know.
great example of like out of
they
context.
did take that out of context.
Yeah.
I'm right.
Other people's
care.
opinions, I don't care. I'm right. You're dumb and stupid and ugly anyway.
The thing is, like, if I have my own community around me, and then they have a second ring of people that are in communities adjacent to mine, they're not really my own community, but they're just like more people. If it's people within that and they're all giving a negative opinion, they're like, oh, I don't like how you said this or that, I'll care a lot more. But when it's like random ass people, hey, you can say whatever you want, but it affects me in no way, you know?
Yeah. I've definitely in my younger years of streaming been a little bit more abrasive, but that's just kind of how I am. Like, I kind of didn't realize that the way I talk with my tone, because I'll be like, I'm saying the same thing somebody else is saying, or I'm very clearly making a joke.
I don't think I'm very abrasive.
Oh, you don't?
No.
That was such a like healthy, healed response. Like, nope, this is a trap that I'm not gonna fall for. Nope.
So I'm just a bit more logical and a bit more like, I'm just delivering my words.
Yeah.
My words mean what they mean, you know, and then
My
and
words,
that's
they come from God. That's right.
it. Exactly.
I think that's a perfect time of yapping. Is there anything you want to tell my momos before I let you go?
I'm planning lots of stuff for hopefully next month.
Yay!
I don't know any specific things.
I love you very much, Pookie. I hope you have a good one.
Love you too. Thank you for the invite.
Of course, it was
Join me
fun. Thank you
anytime.
for yapping.